All right, this is the MechMaxx SG380 Stump Grinder. This one's the model with the Kohler engine. So I just picked up this machine not too long ago. I've only got 2 jobs with it so far. Let me show you what I got on the clock. I think we're at like 2.6 hours or something. Yeah, 2.6 hours. All right, so we're halfway to our first maintenance stop, which is the 5-hour oil change that this Kohler CH440 requires. But yeah, so this machine, I just wanted to show it because I've had a couple of guys ask me about it, and there's not a lot of video information on this type of stump grinder. There's a lot that are, great on the hydraulic head stump grinders, but as far as the man beater style stump grinders, this is a rare style. And what makes it a little bit rare, especially for the price point that MechMaxx is selling it at, is the swivel function, which, I mean, if you look at a Dosco or whatever, those things are like, I think they start at 7,000 or 8,000 for that swivel function. But this MechMaxx, with the Ducar or Dunkar, I can't remember the name of that engine, like 17 or 1800. With the Kohler, you're looking more like mid 2000s or whatever. But yeah, it's got this swivel function. When you get that brake on there, it really takes a lot of that load out. A couple of pointers I'd recommend. Watch out for that hose. A couple of things that I'd recommend to start off are going to be figuring out what height you like the handlebar at. There's a lot of leverage that you can use with this style of machine, and the first place that you start with it is your body weight. So over time, I plan on maybe adding some type of attachable weight like here, but in the meantime, when you're using it, you can just kind of bend over it and use your body weight with it. It's what I found is pretty comfortable with this style of swivel. I'm not new to stump grinders. I'm new to this style of stump grinder because I made the choice to no longer be renting, man. I'm tired of paying that $300-400 to go and rent up a beat up 252. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do that no more, man. So said, you know what? Even if we get beat up a little bit with the man beater, it's time for us to get our own machine. Take it back to the basics and work from there. So this guy is adjustable, and I found that go as low as you can. You might see some videos of guys online with it high up. I just find that you don't have any real leverage up here when you need to lift it and delicately adjust it, the height of the cutter head while it's going. Just find how low can you go based on if you're on an elevation or if the stump's higher or lower than you. Might kind of factor in how much you set this head at, this handle at. But when you go low, it's easier to get your upper trunk weight down on this bar, and then you kind of come up gently with it. That's just what I found. So that's the first thing I would say is really try out that lower handlebar setting if you get it. Let me turn it around for you so you can see the other side of it. So I'm going to talk about the Kohler engine. So the Kohler engine, I noticed in the video that MechMaxx had, I'm pretty sure theirs was that other brand. What is it? Ducar or something? Y'all have to correct me. But the Kohler one's just a little different from what they have in that instructional manual. A couple things is you see your throttle right there, controlled up here. All right. Now in the instructional video that MechMaxx provides, that throttle handle, they yank it all the way over there. If you do that on this one, The Kohler, don't do that. That's gonna send way too fast of RPMs to that cutter head down there. It came from the factory locked about right here. So I'm gonna put it down here. You can see now he's at that position. And then I'm over now changing the lever on my left with this guy here. All right. And this is about all that he wants to go. Now, when you're using the machine, you can keep pushing it farther, like once that vibration's going and it's warm and running, but again, that's a lot of RPMs to that front cutter head, which the machine may not be designed to go that high. The vibrations of the wood that you're cutting might cause this to start to slip a little, so you do got to watch this as you operate your stump grinder. But with the 2 jobs I've used it on so far, total of 4 stumps. The first 2 were brand new white oak, just freshly cut. And you know, oak's pretty, I consider oak to be up there on the Janka scale. I mean, of course there are harder woods out there, but especially a fresh cut oak stump, like, I mean, it must have just been cut 30 minutes before I got there. Man, that's a tough one, but we got through it. Second job was some crepes, 2 soft dried out crepes. And you know, this machine did really well on both of them. I gotta say, man, it did really well on both of those 2 jobs. So if you are stump grinding yourself and you don't want to do the rental thing anymore, you know, this machine with a realistic expectation, you can still, you know, get some type of jobs going with this. I mean, I wouldn't take on anything bigger than, like, personally, I mean, oh man, 3 feet, you know, maybe 4 feet if it's a good bid, because anything past that, you might be like just better off telling your customer to get someone with a larger machine to quote that one out for them, because that bigger one may be able to do like a better job when it comes to a clean job site and not sending too much dust in the air, because this does create a kind of a finer particle of chip like this. I don't know if that's focused on there. Let me change it. Creates a little bit of a finer particle than what you might be used to if you're using, you know, let's say a 20 to 35 horsepower hydraulic head grinder. But yeah, so those really large stumps, you might just want to say, hey, pass that on to a buddy that you know that has a big old Rayco or something like that, and then y'all go get a beer afterwards. But couple of things to watch out for as you're operating this machine. And when I said realistic expectations, I mean, you know, this is a man-powered stump grinder in a sense. It's not hydraulic head, so if you're not strong enough to do certain jobs on the side of a hill, then hey, don't get mad at the machine. That might just be not the job for you. But the big one you got to watch out for is this screw right here. This happened on my first job with this machine, and those fresh oak stumps still had so much of that resin and water, and they were wet, you know, because they were cut down healthy. The vibrations from that hard wood caused this screw to come loose. And luckily, I was able to find this big piece right here and the pile of mulch, but I couldn't find the screw. And none of the screws that I had in my toolkit were the exact right fit, so I had to do the rest of the job without any brake. And that brake really helps you when it comes to getting leverage to swivel the head left and right, all right? But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not getting paid by MechMaxx for this video. I wish I was, right? That'd be nice. But if you're out there, you're, you know, trying to get after it and make money with a stump grinder, I recommend it, man. Like, I think I'm gonna be able to just keep doing it without renting a machine, because some of those stumps you can get that are really high bids. If you got to go and rent the grinder, that costs $400 for the day, and if you can't stack a couple other stumps, or something goes wrong, I mean, it starts raining or something, you know, it can sometimes not be as profitable as a dang old $250 or $300 job that you used with a less expensive stump grinder. So yeah, I'll probably be posting more types of videos about this stump grinder, because I think it's pretty cool. I know a lot of people would say that you want to upgrade as soon as you can from a machine like this to a hydraulic head, but I'm pretty happy with it so far when you got realistic expectations. I don't think you'll see me taking down any, you know, 6-foot gigantic stumps with it, unless the person's okay with me being there all day and making a just gigantic mess. But for stuff that's in neighborhoods, you know, 12-inch, 24-inch, 30-inch, stuff like that, really just solid choice, not that expensive. Couple things you're going to want to have on hand, all right? You're going to definitely want to have an extra set of teeth. Now, I haven't had to change the teeth yet, but when you're grinding stumps, all right, first make sure that you call 811, all right? 811, call them. Do not grind without marking utilities, okay? Don't do it. Anyway, you don't know what you'll be hitting with the teeth, for example. So, perfect example of a stump grinding experience is the very first stump that I got on this one. You know, there was a stake deep down in the stump, which is totally normal, and it didn't cause my teeth to get chipped, but there's a chance that, hey, if you're doing it, maybe that stake's at a different angle, a little bit more wedge in that wood, and it could cause a tooth to chip or something like that. So you definitely want to have a backup set of teeth. I think the MechMaxx ones are rather inexpensive. From what I remember, they were under $100, I know, but I think it was under 80 or 70 even. You'll have to check in with them. But definitely have a backup set of teeth. I recommend also getting a backup set of belts, which I'm going to have on order today. And try to only run ethanol-free gas in it, just for the health of that Kohler motor. If you do spend the extra money on getting the Kohler, you know, make the extra effort to get ethanol-free gas. And that's pretty much it for now. So on my channel, I'll probably start to upload other SG380 videos of me actually using it on stumps and doing some of the maintenance stuff. So we'll be coming up on that first 5-hour maintenance here pretty soon of doing a complete oil change. And yeah, thanks for watching.